Yes, thank you. All right. We have to start over, you guys. I'm sorry. This is my failure always. I always forget to record. I'm ready to
I've done
go.
this before.
I know, right? We've done a whole presentation without recording at all, and we had to do it again. Okay. So good morning. My name is Lori Blanton. I work with UCI Services as an assistant director of our services student support team. So welcome to our UCI Services panel information session. We are pleased that you could join us and really excited that you have chosen UC to further your education. Today's session is going to include both pre-recorded videos and a live panel presentation. So I want you to meet some of the folks that are in our space. And I'll just have everybody kind of introduce themselves. Katie, would you like to start?
Of course. So hi, everyone. My name is Katie Dockstader. I am a program coordinator here at UC. Happy to meet you all.
Wonderful. Kelly?
Hi, everyone. My name is Kelly Plasbat, and I am also a program coordinator in UC International Services.
James?
Hi, my name is James. I'm with UC International Services, and I help with immigration and tax matters.
And Becky?
Hello, I am Rebecca Jewell. I am an international student advisor, so you have probably issued some I-20s for you guys.
All right, so today we're going to try to answer your questions regarding your immigration status, your options and rights as international students in the United States. We hope to connect you to campus and community resources that keep you informed and share event and workshop details that should help you thrive at UC and feel part of our Bearcat family. Additionally, today we welcome Amanda and Michael from University Health Services, who will be discussing student health appointments, vaccines, and TB testing. So following this presentation, we're going to offer 2 simultaneous breakout sessions, one on student success at a U.S. university and the other on-campus employment for international students. Links to those sessions will be provided at the end of this main session in our chat.
So some general reminders for the session today. This is an informal informational session with opportunities for y'all to ask questions. For this first section, it's going to be about 30 minutes. We will present you with a lot of information. We're going to try and keep this engaging by mixing videos and us talking. So please excuse any technical difficulties we may have while we're switching between those. During these informational sessions, you should be muted and your video should be off. Please save your questions for the question and answer portion that we will be conducting at the end of the presentation. You can put your questions in the chat anytime and we will answer them during the Q&A. Any very specific questions should be emailed to our office. I'm going to put that in the chat right now. You can put any sort of specific and personal questions in there. If you have something more general, it can go in the chat and it'll be answered during the Q&A. Some of the functions for Zoom to switch between gallery view, i.e. seeing everyone, or just the speaker or the presentation, you can click that option in the top right corner and toggle between the two. The chat button is on the bottom of your screen and you can type questions in the panel on the right of your screen. For any reason you get disconnected, these sessions are being recorded. And you can view them again, and we'll provide links via the UCI Services newsletter if you want to view that at a later time. If you still have questions and you don't want them, or if you don't want to ask them here today, you're more than welcome to visit our office. We're open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, and you can also email us at the email that I've put into the chat. Again, remember, there will be 2 breakout sessions following this main presentation you're in right now that will be useful to you. We have on-campus employment and student success at a U.S. college. Links to these will be made available in the chat box after this main session. So now I'm going to go ahead and transition us to our first video. So give me one moment. Okay. Can everyone see this? I got a verbal confirmation. Lori, are you good?
Yeah, we can see it.
To the University
Sound?
of Cincinnati. As an
Yep, we can
international
hear.
student,
Perfect.
you are a valued member of our global community here at UC. Today, we're going to introduce you to a little bit of your home away from home, UC International. UC International is comprised of 3 units: planning, study abroad, and international services. Everyone is here to help you throughout your educational journey at UC. UC International is on the 7th floor of Edwards Center 1. Whenever you have questions or concerns, you can always find help here.
My name is Ron Cushing, and I'm the director of UC International Services.
Sorry.
I had a cat walk across my keyboard. I'm sorry. We're gonna keep it going.
We are honored that you've decided to pursue your educational objectives with us, and we're going to do everything we can to ensure that your experience here is a positive one. You need to understand that the challenge you are about to embark upon is going to be a difficult one, but it will also be rewarding. Our office is going to help you meet those challenges and obtain those rewards. You should know that you're joining a very large and exciting international community. You're going to be part of more than 3,000 enrolled international students from more than 100 different countries from across the world. UC International Services is responsible for making sure that you understand all the rules and regulations that you need to follow as an international student and providing you with the proper authorizations along the way. While you're studying, you're going to need to travel. Many of you are in programs that involve co-op or capstones that require work assignments during your stay. You may change your degree level or your program of study. Some of you may have dependents who need to come and be with you. There's a whole host of immigration regulations you need to follow, and we're going to make sure you understand those rules and provide you with the proper authorizations. We have highly trained staff who are available to help answer all of your questions, and we encourage you to contact us when you need help. Please make sure you address all immigration and visa questions to our office. Don't ask your friends, don't ask your college advisor or your departmental advisor. Make sure all visa and immigration questions are addressed to our staff. We also provide you with a host of programming activities during your stay here. Certainly during the first few weeks, you're going to be invited to participate in a lot of welcome and arrival activities. And then throughout your stay, we are going to provide you with opportunities to engage in programs that will help you learn about U.S. culture, the university, the city of Cincinnati, and the U.S. in general. I can assure you that the students who take advantage of those opportunities are the students that leave here with the most positive experiences. So please take advantage of those programs when you have the opportunities. So welcome to UC. We look forward to helping you obtain all of your personal and academic objectives.
UC International can help you with immigration advising and student support throughout your degree program. Now, let's check in with some of our international advisors and learn about keeping up to date with your visa. Again, welcome to Cincinnati. We're excited to have you here.
Okay, so is this my part now, Katie? Just making sure I'm getting some nods there. Well, again, welcome everyone to UC. We are certainly glad that you've decided to come to Cincinnati and UC to our campus, and we know you've put a lot of hard work in getting here. Our website has all our contact details, including our phone number for the main office, which is 513-556-4278. And our email address is international.services@uc.edu. That information is in the chat, will be appearing in the chat just momentarily. Or you can stop by our office and ask to speak to any of our advisors. No one is assigned a particular advisor, but all our advisors are here to help you with your immigration needs. And so just feel free to stop by anytime between Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are not open on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay, so you'll find that most of our services start with iBearcats Global. Before arriving on campus, you have been logging in using that new student/scholar button, which asks for your M number, your PIN, and date of birth. It's extremely important that you complete the new international student checklist, specifically the check-in e-form, immediately after arriving in the United States, because this is how we activate your immigration record. And by not completing it, you would jeopardize your immigration status. So if you haven't done so already, please do so immediately. Likewise, it's a requirement of your immigration status to keep our office updated with your local address and phone number. These can be updated in Catalyst under the My Profile tile. Your address here in Cincinnati should be updated using the mailing address option. You can find examples of how to correctly format a U.S. address in the check-in e-form as well. After arriving to the U.S. and completing the new international student checklist, you'll start logging into iBearcats Global using the current student's login, which asks for your UC username and password, which is the same way that you log into your UC email address. The full range of services you need after arrival will not be available with the limited service option, so you won't see all of the e-forms. Immigration rules can change often and be confusing, so we're here today to try and make that a bit more clear for you for the rules of fall 2023.
Yeah, and so some of those rules we're going to discuss today. For example, your full-time enrollment. You're here on an F1 student visa, right? And so the student is the key detail there. So you have to be enrolled in classes. And if you are an undergraduate student, you must be enrolled for at least 12 credit hours. If you are a graduate student, you must be enrolled for at least 10 credit hours. Now, most of those should be in person, physically in a class of some kind. And so if you are an undergraduate, 9 of those credits must be in person. So again, undergraduate, 12 credit hours total, 9 of those must be at least in person. You can do more in-person classes. You can do lots of online classes, but only 3 credits of online classes will count towards your full-time 12 credit hour requirement. As a graduate student, you must be registered for at least 10 credits for maintaining your immigration status. 7 of those credits must be in person in classes. You can use up to 3 credits of online credits to fulfill that 10 credit hour requirement. Again, you can take more in-person classes, you can take more online classes, but at least 7 credits of those 10 to maintain your immigration status must be in person. Now, if at some point during your time here, you're academically struggling or your academic situation changes, perhaps you even have a medical situation, and for some reason you cannot enroll full-time or don't need to enroll full-time for your academic progress, please contact us and also check iBearcats Global. We have an e-form there called Reduced Course Load. And so the Immigration Service will grant you permission to register for less than full-time if you meet one of those academic or medical circumstances that are listed on that e-form. So take a look at that. And if you have questions, contact us and use the e-form before you drop any courses that are going to put you below full-time.
Right. So your I-20 identifies who you are and what you're doing in the U.S. For example, it shows the school that you're studying at, what degree you're pursuing. It also tells you and us how much time you have left to complete that degree. If you're going to change your plan, change majors, degree levels, or you need more time, or even if you're going to a different university here in the U.S., you will need a new I-20. So you can do most of these things by requesting them through iBearcats Global. We have specific e-forms for each of those. And you can always talk to an advisor to figure out which one. This is especially important if you need more time because you have to submit extension requests before your I-20 expires. Keep in mind, however, that it's okay for your F1 or J1 visa stamp in your passport to expire because it's only for entry into the United States. You're not required to renew it while you're inside the U.S., but if you travel internationally after it expires, you'll need to renew it at a U.S. embassy or consulate, preferably in your home country. You cannot renew the entry visa while inside of the United States, unfortunately. Your passport, however, can be renewed at your home country's embassy or consulate inside of the United States, and you should always keep your passport current to maintain your immigration status.
Now, also, we've speaking of travel, some of you may want to go home at some point while you're studying in your degree here, or maybe you want to go overseas, perhaps over the winter break that's coming up in December, maybe spring break next spring, or even during the summer vacation period. And so if you are in F1 or J1 status, that's certainly a possibility, but we have to sign your I-20 if you're F1 or your DS 2019 if you're J1 with a signature. A signature must appear in the travel sections of those forms that grant you permission to come back to the US to continue your studies. And so once you know your travel plans, you can do this as far in advance as you've booked your flights. As soon as you know your travel plans, go ahead and submit the travel signature request e-form in iBearcats Global, and then we'll get that processed as quick as we can. So you can then have a travel signature placed on your documents. Keep in mind that all our e-form processes can take 5 business days, and a business day is Monday through Friday. So if you submit something on a Saturday and Sunday doesn't count as business days. And that goes for all our e-form processes. And so plan ahead. And so you don't want to come unstuck in winter, December time, and finals have just ended and you're playing leave tomorrow and you submit the e-form because we just won't get it done in time. You can leave the country without these documents signed, but you need the signed documents to come back to the US. So if you can, plan ahead when you're booking any flights or trips. Just remember, you need to go check iBearcats Global and get the travel signature processed at the same time.
So on-campus employment is something that you may be interested in. As an F1 or a J1 student, you can work on campus up to 20 hours per week in the fall and spring semesters and more than 20 hours per week during the summer, spring, and winter break. When you have been offered an on-campus job, whether it's at a UC office or a non-UC employer, such as food services, please log into iBearcats Global and submit the employment eligibility verification / onboarding e-form, and we'll help you complete the hiring process. You also get an email that would say this stuff, so you don't have to try to remember right now. Also, I did want to note too that you also received an email from our director to remind students that you actually apply for jobs online rather than going to individual offices, just to make it a bit easier for you and everyone else. OPT and CPT are types of off-campus work authorization, and these would help you obtain practical experience for the stuff you're learning in your degree programs. Most of you will not need these and will not qualify to use these in your first academic year of study, but as you get further into your career, we have details on each located on our website and on iBearcats Global.
And finally, taxes. This can be very confusing, and we understand that, but we try to make it as simple as possible. If you're currently here in the US just starting your degree program, there's nothing you need to be worried about right now. If you do get an on-campus job at some point, we're going to help you with some of the tax paperwork you need to submit as you're entering into the payroll system. But everyone through the months of January through April has to file an income tax report or a return to the IRS, the tax service here in the US. We provide help with this every year. So even if you didn't earn any money, it's a very straightforward form that says, I was here, didn't earn any money, I don't owe any taxes. If you were here and you got paid, then there may be some taxes owed, or maybe you're eligible for a refund of some taxes. We provide assistance with this every year. And so pay attention to our social media and our newsletter that goes out via email in January, February in particular, but it does go out every month. But in January and February in particular, we'll have information about how to do this tax thing that we keep talking about. Now, we're again very happy that you're here, that you came to join us here in Cincinnati. We're excited to help you with whatever questions you may have. Always feel free to come by to our office or email us. If you're just generally lost what a process is, or where do you get help with this, that, or the other, or if you ever have an issue on campus, let us know and we can put you in touch with the relevant authorities that can help you with that particular situation. And so again, use our phone number, use our email, stop by and see us. And also then finally, as Mr. Cushing indicated, there'll be lots of people here on campus that are friends or seniors or faculty or staff who have an idea of what immigration rules there are, but they could be out of date. And so again, if you have any questions about this stuff, come see us. This is what we're here for. And so welcome again and the very best of luck to you.
Okay.
Okay, anything else?
I think we're going to the video now, right, Lori? Video number 2. Okay, let's hope no cat distractions this time. Let me get that. And are we good?
Yes, we can see it.
The UC International website is filled with tons of resources and information about your visa, the university, and more. If you ever have a question or want to know where to go, consider our website your first stop. However, much of the way you'll interact with our office involves using our online system, iBearcats Global. Up until this point, you've probably been using the limited services. Now you can use the full services for students and scholars to submit e-forms, make requests, and more. Now, let's hear from an international student about their experience working with UC International and their experience getting involved on campus.
Hello everyone, my name is Devan Saxena. I do go by Dev. I am a third-year mechanical engineering student, also pursuing my MBA through the Ascent program at the University of Cincinnati. I came to UC for multiple reasons, one of them being the co-op program. The co-op program gives you a chance to get real world experience while applying all the things you're learning in class to different workforce situations. So I'm currently on my second rotation with Toyota, where I do get to apply a lot of things that I've been just learning in my classes, such as machine design and statics, vibes and things of such sort to my current co-op. UC provides several different resources for co-op specifically. I actually landed my co-op through the career fair, which is something UC CES Tribunal hosts every semester, where multiple different hundreds of employers come and talk to different UC students, just asking them about their experience and if they would be a good fit for their company. And throughout this process, if you have any questions about how to obtain your CPT, or if you're allowed to work for 40 plus hours, or all those specific work questions, always reach out to UC International. I promise there are a bunch of nice people who are willing to help you out. I believe that getting involved on campus is an investment for yourself and for building your future for multiple reasons. As an international student, when I first came here, it's hard to leave your friends, your family, and pretty much everything behind in your home country and starting fresh. For some people it's easy, for some people it's difficult. By really going out there, getting involved, you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and by doing so you can make friends and memories that might last you your entire lifetime. You can make those necessary connections that can help you in your professional and your academic life, as well as your personal life. I am an IPAL, and IPAL stands for being an international partner and leader. I got the chance to interview to become an IPAL my first semester in college. I believe that I made one of the best decisions I could when I came to college, because I found some of the best people to work with. I get a chance to network and talk to a lot of different domestic and international students, and attend numerous different events that IPALs host for the UC population. So that might be doing Salsa on the Square, going on UC International's retreat. I went kayaking, there were different games, we did karaoke, playing sports, all that good stuff. So overall, IPALS is one of the best student groups to join on campus, and I know I might sound a little biased, but at the same time, I promise you it's a very good decision for your
So you can see we have a really nice fun overview of some of the different events that we put on for students. So we work here at UC International Services to provide social and academic support so that you have a more holistic, positive experience at UC. So that team includes myself, Kelly, and 2 graduate assistants. We communicate with y'all through Instagram, Facebook, Campus Link, and then our twice a month newsletter that we're putting out. So if you're not following us on social media, I encourage you to start today. And that newsletter will show up in your UC email inbox on the 1st and 3rd Tuesday of every month. So I oversee that. And the newsletter includes immigration updates and UC International event listings. So campus and community resources and events will appear with that, and you should give it a read. Event workshops and meetups this fall will be mostly in person. We're completely in person now. And information on how to attend these events and access these resources will be shared via social media, Campus Link, and the newsletter. Our student group, the International Partners and Leaders, as Dev talked about a little bit, IPALS, that includes domestic and international students, grads and undergrads, and they will be on hand at these events to extend a peer-to-peer welcome, and are available for your questions. So reach out to them. They're a fantastic resource, and you should be able to identify them by their IPAL t-shirts and smiling faces.
UC International also focuses on providing academic support for international students. So I serve as the academic support liaison for UC International and can help connect you with your academic advisor or your professors. And also I provide academic workshops on topics that you might be unfamiliar with, and can connect you to other campus resources to ensure that you can be successful academically at UC. So I'll be hosting the Student Success at a U.S. University breakout session that is coming up after this session. And once again, we would like to encourage you to reach out to us with any questions and remind you again how you can get in touch. So our email and phone number are in that chat box. And our office, again, is open Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. And we're located in Edwards Center 1, Suite 7148. And also our website has a ton of information as well. So we'll also post a link to our website in the chat. So you can also find a lot of different information on there.
Thank you, guys. I think now we're ready to turn to University Health Services. We have Amanda Donor from that office and Dr. Michael Holliday. Amanda, Michael, are you guys ready?
Yes. I'm ready. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Give me just a second. Are you guys able to see that now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So like Lori said, my name is Amanda Donor. I am a program manager with University Health Services. And today I'm going to be going over as briefly as I can, UHS, what services we offer, what we can do for you guys. And then we're going to cover your immunization requirements and tuberculosis screening requirements, some COVID updates, and then Dr. Holliday is going to go over some more clinical type items. So I'll turn it over to him once I am finished. So University Health Services, we actually have 2 locations. One is on the medical campus, so it's a bit further away. Our main campus location is located at the Lindner Athletic Center, and that is the big white gray building right next to Nippert Stadium. It has all the triangle windows. So we are there Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are by appointment, so we are not a walk-in clinic. You must call ahead of time to make an appointment. We cannot just take walk-ins. So yeah, and we're located on the 3rd floor there. It's right outside the entrance to the stadium. Services provided. So we provide a host of primary care services that would include sick and well, both sick and well visits, women's health, immunizations. We do provide mental health services. That includes counseling and psychiatry, just based on your need. We do have a laboratory, so any blood work that might need to be done most blood work that needs to be done can be done on site. Dermatology, we do have an on-site pharmacy, so you're able to get prescriptions filled through our pharmacy and just pick them up on campus. It's a super convenient area to pick them up. Radiology, so we do have x-ray, things like that, and then travel health services. I'm going to get into your required immunizations a little bit later, but I do have kind of a broad list of immunizations that we offer at UHS listed here. I'm not going to go through all of them. All of the immunizations that you're required to have for the university, we can provide at UHS. And then on this list, there's a host of others that are available as well. We do TB testing and urine drug screens if those are needed for your program. So as far as immunization compliance, there are required immunizations for all incoming undergraduate, graduate, and professional students attending any UC campus, main campus, or Blue Ash or Claremont. And then, so those are listed below. So your requirements would include a tuberculosis test that entails a blood draw. You are required to be vaccinated for hepatitis B, measles, mumps, rubella, meningococcal, quadrillate, Tdap, and varicella. So those are all the ones that are required. And then listed below that are the ones that are recommended but not required. So that would include COVID-19, influenza, HPV, serogroup B, hepatitis A, and polio. So why do we require these? The university has immunization and health screening requirements to protect the health of individual students and the overall campus community as a whole. Infectious diseases are of particular concern to universities due to the large number of students living, studying, and working together in close quarters. There have been outbreaks across the United States at different campuses, and the requirements that UC sets are based upon a review of national, state, and local recommendations and requirements. So as far as the tuberculosis screening, this would be kind of the first part in your required health screening. You are required to complete a tuberculosis screening upon arrival to UC. This is mandatory for all international students. We have, and you may have seen, we have communicated out previously the option for you to do this in your home country. There are TB risk assessment and clinical assessment forms that your doctor could complete, and you could send us in test results. And we have had students comply with that and send that stuff in ahead of time. If you have not, then now that you have arrived here at UC, it is mandatory that you come to University Health Services for a TB screening. So upon arrival, you want to make sure that you call UHS. Our phone number is listed here once you arrive, and you would ask for an appointment for a TB screening. We are doing the next 2 weeks, next week and the following week, we call them TB screening brigades, where we kind of just do every day, all day for those 2 weeks. We are going to be scheduling these TB screening appointments. So as soon as you can, make sure you call this number and set up an appointment for a TB screening in the next 2 weeks. Once you do call for an appointment, you will be required to sign up for it's a UC Health MyChart account. It's an electronic health record. At your appointment, you will fill out a TB screening questionnaire, and then with a nurse, there'll be a nurse helping you. Depending on the responses to that questionnaire, you will have a blood draw done to test for latent or active tuberculosis. So the deadline for completing that screening is September 11th, that is 3 weeks after the start of classes. And then the second part of your, as I mentioned, the second part of your required health screening is, the rest of the required immunizations. So we use a system called MedProctor to house all of that immunization data. So you would receive an email from MedProctor with a notification to create an account. You're going to use your UC email address and your M number to set up your account. And then you must upload your proof of immunizations to MedProctor. So once you're in there, you will get a standardized form. That form is also available on our website. You can review the list of immunizations that you need. I just listed them. They are on our website, and they are also listed on the form. So you'll want to respond to the invitation from MedProctor and set up your account, download your form, and then you'll want to take that form to your medical provider. You can also bring it to us at University Health Services. And you can go over all of the immunizations that you've had in the past, any that you may still need, get your provider to provide any immunizations that are outstanding that you don't yet have. You'll have your provider fill out and sign and stamp that form, and then you are going to upload your completed form to your MedProctor account. MedProctor will then notify you by email if there are any outstanding items. The deadline, again, like I said, the deadline for the fall semester is September 11th, 2023. If you do have questions about MedProctor, if you're having an issue getting things uploaded, a technical glitch with the system, anything like that, you can contact MedProctor on their website. They have a live chat support feature at the bottom of their webpage. If you have questions regarding immunizations and you're maybe confused about the requirements or you're confused about your compliance status, you can visit our website that is listed here. You can email us at uhstracking@ucmail.uc.edu. That is an email inbox that is monitored by a live person every day. So you will have someone that can check into your account and get back to you. You could also call UHS at 556-2564. So now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Holliday so he can go through his part. Dr. Holliday, you can just let me know when you'd like me to advance the slides.
Okay, thank you. And I will continue this process of giving you this big deluge of knowledge. So hopefully this is not overwhelming. Thanks everyone for allowing us to come here and share a little bit about what we do. Go ahead and go to the next slide. So I want to focus on how to get the help you need to take care of your health, and how UHS can help you in that process. One is just getting the help that you need for any health concerns. And emergencies do happen. So if you're experiencing things such as trouble breathing at rest, passing out, severe bleeding, UHS is not the place to get that type of care. We're not an emergency room, so you'd want to call 911 or go to the nearest emergency room for help. If you're not sure if it's an emergency, go ahead and give us a call. We have schedulers there that can help get you an appointment, and if there's something particularly concerning about a symptom you have, we also have nurses that are available to speak with you. After hours and on the weekends, we always have a provider, either a nurse practitioner or a physician who's on call, and you would just call our same number, the 513-556-2564, to get a hold of us. Next. What about routine care? So some of the things that we do, Amanda already mentioned. If you need an appointment because you have a new problem and you're not sure what's going on, like a rash or a respiratory illness such as cough or sore throat, or some type of injury. We see a lot of scooter injuries here, for example. Then you would want to give us a call and schedule an appointment. You may have an established problem already, such as asthma or high blood pressure, and you would like to make sure that that's under control and being managed, or perhaps diabetes. Or you may realize that you have some preventative services that are past due, such as cervical cancer screening with what's called a pap smear, or maybe immunizations that you're due for. Next. And mental health, we provide mental health services within UHS, and we partner with counseling and psychological services. They have a vast number of resources for you all, including group visits and also individual counseling. They're very accessible. And within UHS, we have psychiatrists who can help diagnose and treat psychiatric problems with medications. We also have a counseling staff, which includes licensed counselors and also some psychologists. And primary care providers also help with diagnosis and treatment with medications for more routine things such as depression and anxiety. Next. In terms of dental and vision care, looks like it's stuck between two slides there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is that better?
I think so, yeah. Well, maybe one more. There you go. Oh, whoops, back. They're like kind of ghost images or something. Anyway, so in terms of dental and vision care, we do not have these resources in University Health Services. And also these are not routinely covered by the Student Health Insurance Plan. There is additional coverage that you can get for this, and there's a link to that. And there's also low-cost dental cleaning that can be done at a satellite location, the Blue Ash Dental Hygiene Clinic. Next. We're going to talk a little bit about staying healthy. The UC Student Wellness Center is a great resource for ways that you can have well-being, you know, in a preventative fashion, right? So if you click on that link, you'll see a lot of educational resources on numerous topics, including tobacco, sleep, exercise, nutrition. So very helpful. Next. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those topics, and we'll talk about eating, moving, sleeping, and then connecting next. In terms of nutrition, there's a lot of complicated things out there, a lot of conflicting information, but pretty much everyone agrees that it's a good idea to eat food, so things that actually are recognizable as food as opposed to being highly processed, not too much, and mostly plants. And this is from Michael Pollan. Next. We realize that that can be expensive at times, and you all are on a fixed income, and we know that there's a lot of food insecurity in this country, in numerous populations, including college college students and international students in particular. They can have problems getting access to very nutritious food. So this is the Bearcat Pantry. You can go to this site, you'll be able to see opportunities to get food, and they've served thousands of students over the year. And that can be a great resource. There's also a resource called findhelp.org. If you click on that link and you put in your zip code, such as UHS, I believe is 45221, you'll be able to see resources for food and in different pantries across the area. Next. And in terms of moving, we know that exercise is great for mental health, for just controlling metabolic issues such as weight management, and also helping with good sleep. This is a resource on exercise you can click on, and it gives general information about aerobic exercise and also strength training. Next. Sleep is foundational for your health. And after being in college health for about 5 years, I know that a lot of people struggle with this one, particularly around exam times. And in some colleges, they struggle with it all the time. So this is a great website that will give you information about the importance of sleep, and also really attend to any particular sleep problem you might have. A lot of people struggle with insomnia. A lot of people struggle with habits that tend to distract from good sleep. And next. And in terms of connecting, There is a app called the Calm app that you can access that is helpful in terms of meditation and learning mindfulness, being able to be undistracted and in the present moment. In general, when people are in the present moment, they're happier, they're more effective, as opposed to being kind of distracted into the past or into the future. And also CAPS, again, is a great resource. That's a link to the website. Next.
I think that's back to me. So our last two slides here are just on COVID-19 resources. So the UC Public Health resource website is where you would want to go for any kind of up-to-date information on COVID and policies and things like that. Their website is the most current. Also, you can email a UC COVID check email address for COVID related questions. So that would include vaccines, testing, things like that. And then University Health Services does offer COVID vaccinations. To make an appointment, you would want to call us. And if you have been partially or fully vaccinated in your home country and you have questions about next steps or additional doses, you can call us and speak to someone about appropriate next steps for your specific situation. So that is all we've got. I don't know, Lori, if you guys have time for questions.
I wanted to
Oh, go ahead.
talk about a few things. Yeah, so a couple other issues that sometimes come up in terms of the services that we offer. As you can imagine, we serve over 40,000 students potentially. So sometimes we're not able to provide all the healthcare needs of all those people. So many people want just a preventative visit where I feel fine, I don't have any symptoms, but I just want to make sure that I get a body check, that everything's going well. And often we just don't have the access to provide that. So we tend to prioritize acute illnesses, so people who are presently not doing well, having some symptoms. People who have chronic illnesses that need to be attended to, such as diabetes and hypertension, high blood pressure or asthma, or people with mental health problems. So we tend to focus on those. So if you do have concerns about your health, such as you're fatigued, you don't know why, or you're losing weight and it's not clear why, by all means, please reach out. But we may not have access, especially during busy times, for kind of routine checks where you're having no symptoms. Thanks.
Couldn't get my mute button off. Thank you so much, Amanda and Dr. Holliday. We really appreciate the information that you've shared with us. This is critical information for our new students. Luckily, we will have this recording, I hope, posted by later today, so that if you want to check some of those links that were in these slides, you have them, and you'll also be able to find contact details. So appreciate that.
All right, I'm going to put a link in the chat as well.
Sure.
One of the things that comes up sometimes is cost. So we may see a student, and although the SHIP program, Student Health Insurance Program, does cover the services that we provide within University Health Services, occasionally we need to refer patients outside to get further diagnostic testing or specialty care. And there's coverage for those things, but there is some out-of-pocket expense. So I put a link in the chat to UC Health Financial Assistance. So many students are worried about getting further diagnostic studies or treatment. And if financial issues are part of that burden, please look into that resource.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm sure there are people who will be checking this link out as well. So again, thank you both for hopping into our Zoom today. And we're going to do an FAQ if you guys want to stick around in case there are questions for University Health Services. That would be super. Somebody's saying they heard that MedProctor needs to pay $10 to submit it. Is there a cost associated with submitting that form to MedProctor?
No, there's not. There is an option on there that MedProctor gives you or asks you. The $10 fee is only if you would like access to be able to go in and access the records that you've submitted at a later date. But there at the bottom, there's like a little gray button that you can decline that fee, and you're able to upload whatever you need to upload at no cost to you.
Great. So just some general questions here. What happens if my visa expires while I'm inside the US? Becky, James?
Yeah. So whenever you say visa, that means the entry visa inside of your passport. So as I said in the presentation, so the entry visa is only for entry into the United States. It is perfectly fine to let it expire while inside the United States. Your main immigration document is your I-20 or your DS 2019. So as long as that remains valid, you have what's called duration of status, meaning that you are allowed to remain in the United States for the duration of your status. If you want to travel internationally after it expires, then you need a new entry visa to return to the United States, but only in that situation.
Okay, so if a student wanted to renew their visa or their passport, can they do that while they are in the United States?
You can renew your passport while inside the United States. You just contact your country's embassy or consulate in the US and give them whatever documents they ask for. Each country has different protocols for that, so you would have to ask them specifically about what they need for your passport. But unfortunately, your entry visa can only be renewed outside of the United States. It's preferable to do home country because there is a higher denial rate for third-party countries. So like if you're from China and you're like, I want to go to Canada, like you could try, but you'd have to contact the Canadian embassy or consulate to see if they would even allow you to have an appointment as a non-citizen. So we always recommend home country to renew those entry visas.
All right, we have one from the chat. If we want to rent a car and drive, will we have to apply for the Ohio driver's license? And what do we need to do to get it?
Okay, well, it's a fair question. If you have an international driver's license, you can drive in the US, anywhere in the US, on that international license for 12 months from the date that you first arrived in the US in your F1 status. If you go home on winter break and come back, that doesn't count. It's 12 months from the time you just arrived here in the country in the past few weeks. Now, that means you could rent a car using that driver's license and a credit card and what have you. That's perfectly fine. In fact, the driver's license, the rental car agencies are probably more used to seeing international driver's licenses than most other agencies here in the US. However, it is recommended that if you are going to be driving in the US, even over the next few weeks or within the next 12 months or even longer than that, you should go ahead and get an Ohio driver's license. And the reason for that is you're going to find that everything is so much easier with the Ohio driver's license. Also, legitimately, legal-wise, you'll need one after your 12 months are over using your international license. And so when you go to a car rental agency, they will recognize a little better the Ohio driver's license. Most police officers in the city of Cincinnati recognize an international driver's license. But as you leave Cincinnati and go across to some of the more rural country areas of the US, they probably will not recognize an international driver's license. And so it is a lot safer and secure and easier if you go ahead and apply for an Ohio driver's license. To apply for an Ohio driver's license, you will need several documents at the Driver's License Bureau. One of those documents is going to be a letter from our office that states who you are, where you live, and that you are in status with the Immigration Service. You can request that letter through iBearcats Global. It's called Driver's License Request. It's not available to you yet because you haven't started classes. But next week, when you log into iBearcats Global using current student login credentials, not new student, when you use the current student login credentials, then you'll see the letter that you can request. With that letter, along with your immigration documents, you can go to a driver's license bureau and apply for your license. They will also need some mail that's been mailed to your address here in the US that shows, envelopes that have been mailed to you at least, that shows that you do actually physically live at the address you say you do here in Cincinnati. And with those documents, you go down there, fill out the application, take a test. You may be required to take a driving test, and then they will give you an Ohio driver's license. If you need help with learning how to drive in Ohio, or in the US rather, UC International Services does offer a reduced cost driver's license course. It's only available once a semester, each semester, and details about that and when it's available and where you can do it and how you can sign up will be in our newsletter and our social media later this semester.
A question for UHS. Someone is bringing a prescription from their home country back to here to the US. It looks like it's a prescription that needs to be refilled forevermore. Do they need to make an appointment with a practitioner at UHS and then bring along possibly some documentation to verify that they indeed need this prescription? How does that work?
That's a great question.
Oh, go ahead, Dr. Holliday, because I was going to say, I know with an international prescription, I don't know how that would work. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so with that would be one of those visits where it's helping with a chronic condition that the patient has, and it's quite common. So someone may have diabetes, or they might have asthma or something like that, and they would make an appointment, and then the provider and that student would discuss a treatment plan. Sometimes the medications that were started in the home country may not be available here, and so we might find kind of a viable alternative. And then we would set up a plan, including how is that condition going, when would be a proper time to follow up to see how it's going, and that would be the best way to get their prescriptions continued here.
Okay, looks like we have a lot of kind of UHS questions. I'll try to get through those quickly. We just got a couple of more minutes. A student has submitted the TB test along with the vaccination to Med Proctor, asking if they need to take the TB test again at the university.
So the TB testing should be sent directly to UHS at the UHS tracking email address that's in that in the slide deck. So we can't answer that question for certain. When the packets come in with the TB testing and the required forms, they are given to our nursing staff to review them clinically to determine if they've met the requirements, if the student has any next steps they need to complete. So, I can't answer this student's question specifically to them. I don't know what their questionnaire and their testing looked like. We need to make sure the type of test is the right test and all of that kind of stuff. So what we typically tell people is make sure that you're emailing the TB test and the required forms. So on our website, they would have been provided with the TB risk assessment and the TB clinical assessment forms. We require both of those forms in addition to an actual test result. So as long as you have all three of those things, make sure you're sending that to the UHS tracking email, and we are processing them. I think I saw one question that said the student emailed their TB testing to us and haven't gotten a reply yet. We're processing many of these. You will hear back from us if there is additional work that needs to be done, or if there is additional testing that needs to be done. So if everything is okay, you may not hear back from us. We will reach out to students if there is anything outstanding that needs to be completed.
That sounds great. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
And I can give a scenario in which someone would be completed and they'll get that feedback from us. That is, if they filled out the screening questionnaire, they've done the clinical evaluation, which includes a test or an x-ray if that were needed. And then if that's all been completed, they will get the feedback. If part of that process is not completed, they will be notified, and it'll be important to make an appointment. And of course, if someone's not filled out anything, not completed the packet whatsoever, please give us a call to schedule one of those brigades.
Yeah, like we said, we're doing this. we're going to have plenty of appointments the next 2 weeks. Monday through Friday, we're doing them every day. So in order to meet your deadline, you would need to come during those 2 weeks. So please give us a call, schedule an appointment. We can have a nurse review everything for you. If you have some of the forms filled out, if you think you may have gotten the right test in your home country, but you're not sure, you can bring those things with you. And then, a nurse can help you complete those forms, and we can provide any testing that you may need.
Great. We do have a few leftover questions here. Unfortunately, it's past 9:30 and our breakout sessions are ready to start. Katie, if you could go ahead and put those links into the chat for those. And there's another couple of questions maybe for UHS, and then a couple of questions it looks like for the onboarding. So I don't know, James and Amanda and Dr. Holliday and Rebecca, if you want to go ahead and grab those students' information there and maybe send a reply to them. Otherwise, we're going to finish here, and we please invite you to come to either one of these breakout sessions. They'll also be recorded and put on our website, hopefully by this afternoon, so that if you need to go to one, but you wanted to hear what happened in the other one, you'll have the opportunity to actually access both. So again, thank you for joining us this morning. Welcome to the University of Cincinnati. We're pleased you're here. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. If we didn't get to your question today, and you don't get something from us, email us. We are happy to answer any questions that you have. There's no dumb questions. And so go ahead and reach out. Okay. All right. Thanks again. We'll stay online just for a minute more so that if you are trying to hit the breakout session, you have those links. Katie has put those in the chat. And otherwise, everybody is welcome to depart.
Lori, I'll send you an email that will answer the emergency question.
Okay, that sounds great. I will try to copy this student's email address, or at least write the name down so that I can try to reach out. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet.